go.
Now, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First thing I want to say, let us all think about, and I want to express the sympathies to the families of both of the correction officers that were murdered. As most of you are aware, early Tuesday morning, a Georgia Department of Corrections bus was traveling through Putnam County, and at that time, two prisoners overpowered the two officers operating the bus. They brutally shot both of those officers multiple times. They then carjacked an individual who was nothing more than a passerby, took his car and fled from the scene. Yesterday we recovered that car here in Morgan County, less than a mile from where we are. A burglary was perpetrated by them, we know by evidence left at the scene, at a residence nearby where the car was abandoned around 10 or 11 o'clock that morning. Later yesterday, we learned that they had stolen a white Ford F-250 truck from a rock quarry about 9 miles east of here. And that happened, we now know, around 10 or 11 o'clock Tuesday night. Where they have gone from there, I don't know. We don't know, and we're heavily dependent on the citizens of this state and other states possibly letting us know. We now have a reward that totals $130,000. I've been a police officer of some sort in this state for over 43 years, and I can tell you today there has never been a reward that large. I've worked in metro areas and rural areas around this state, and I have never seen this level of assistance in my career. Literally every law enforcement agency in this state, local, federal, and state, this is the greatest effort I have ever seen. And it's not just because of the crime, it's because the public is in grave danger. These are dangerous, seriously dangerous, vicious hoodlums that need to be apprehended. I want to thank Sheriff Robert Markley. We have unfortunately he's very gracious. We've unfortunately taken over his entire operation here, and he's been mighty kind in that respect. At this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to the special agent in charge of the FBI office in Atlanta.
Good afternoon. David Lavallee, the special agent in charge of the Atlanta field office here in Georgia. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the working relationship that we have. Sheriff Sills alluded to it, and you can see behind me the unified effort with which we are pursuing these two individuals. On a federal level, the FBI, the United States Marshals Service, and the ATF are working closely together, especially as the search for these individuals expands. This is day 3, and we are aggressively, as a unified body and a unified group here, pursuing them, whether that's here in the state of Georgia or if they've left. It has become a nationwide search for these two individuals. We would just reiterate, we do need the public's help. It is, along with us working together, we need the eyes and ears of everybody really in this country to be on the lookout for these two individuals. We are following up on tips and leads now. They do continue to come in, and we are pursuing these individuals. There is a tip line that we'll put out for you. It's 877-WANTED-2. That's 877-WANTED and then the number 2. The numbers are actually 877-926-8332. We would remind the public these two individuals are considered armed and dangerous. If anybody should see them or see one of them, it would be appropriate to dial 911 immediately and report that to whatever police or sheriff jurisdiction that they're in. But we continue to press this. We bring all the federal assets to bear on this and try to accomplish what we need to do, and that's to protect the communities in the United States. And these are two individuals that, as long as they're out, they will pose a threat to the communities that they are in. With that, I'll turn it over to Georgia Department of Corrections Commissioner Greg. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Greg Dozier. I'm the Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Corrections. First and foremost, I'd like to thank these partners here, Sheriff Sills, Sheriff Markley, and the others here, as well as GBI, State Patrol, have done a phenomenal job partnering together and searching this state for these individuals. The main thing I'd like to share with you is the families, both the families of these officers and the families here at GDC. Approximately 7:20 yesterday morning, I was notified, 2 mornings ago, I was notified of this event, and I was on site very shortly after that, and the pain and anguish that was in the toes of my feet went up to my heart. And as that day went on, and I learned more and more about these two officers and met their families, the impact of these cowardly acts is far-reaching. We need to remember Officer Monica, Sergeant Monica. He was 42 years of age. He leaves behind a wife, 2 daughters, a community that loves him, officers that love him, people who respected him and looked up to him. Sergeant Ballou, 58 years of age, 10-year veteran with our agency. Sergeant Monica was an 8-year veteran. Sergeant Ballou leaves behind 2 sisters, 5 brothers, a father, and some children. These men were impactful to their communities, their families, and this agency. We will miss them deeply, and we cannot replace them. It is a shame that 2 individuals would be so cowardly to do this to this community and this family. I am so proud, as I visited yesterday over with the other transportation officers, how they stood strong with their brothers, and they were there to support them and that family. The officers at the prison, the same. We've been around and seen everyone. This is impactful. I would be remiss if I didn't go back and say thank you to these individuals behind me. We have partnered across this state and this country to find these 2, and I'm sure we will, and we'll bring them to justice. Thank you.
Any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
I have a question for Greg. Do we know if that barrier was locked? Did they break a lock to get past that barrier? Do you have an answer?
We do not have an answer at this time. The focus is on capturing these individuals and making sure we bring them to justice as we do the investigation, and we find those details. We will be reviewing them.
I think one of the questions that people are wondering, you had, I believe, 33 inmates on the bus.
Yes, sir.
How is it that the others did not flee, and whether they've told you since whether they tried to stop anything, whether they tried to get involved, whether they stood back, did they participate?
I will defer to Sheriff Sills. He's been heading up that investigation, and they have been interviewed, but I'll defer to him on that.
For the sheriff and the FBI, have there been any other sightings out of state?
Let me first address you. Yes, the prisoners, no, they did not participate in it visibly that we know of at this time. Yes, they have been extremely helpful in the course of this investigation. They provided the most vital information at the most crucial time. The answer to you is no, sir.
No sightings?
No, sir.
Sheriff, have you been able to get any information that would suggest that these inmates had this very well planned in advance? Or able to gather any?
No, we haven't. We obviously are looking at that. DOC is looking at that. I want to stress to y'all, once again, our focus right now is to apprehend these 2 dangerous criminals. And those things are going to be looked at. They are being looked at by the appropriate authorities. But I'm stressing, we're looking for them now.
Do you believe they're getting help on the outside?
We don't know that. What we know right now that I can release to you, let me say this. We want to be as open as we possibly can to you, and we want to be open to the public that pays us. But we also have a prosecution that's going to take place, hopefully, after they're apprehended. And we cannot tell you everything we know. It will jeopardize the trial later down the road.
Do you think they're together, or do you think they've split up at this point?
As of the time of the theft of the automobile, our evidence indicates the truck, they were still together.
Does your
Follow
law
up on the
enforcement
truck.
tell you that they are getting help because I assume they don't have money or initially coming out of prison?
We assume they don't have money. They're doing like most escapees do. They're stealing cars. We know they did a burglary. We know they took food there. We know of no great amount of money, but there may have been some money there that the victim didn't know about.
Any credit cards used, stolen?
We have no credit card information.
Any other reports of any other car break-ins or burglaries?
No, not at this time. Not that we have been made aware of. Burglaries happen virtually every few minutes throughout this state. Cars are stolen every few minutes throughout this state. Obviously, we are keenly interested in anything like that, but nothing has come forward. If somebody is helping them and we identify who they are, they will be prosecuted as parties to this crime. Make no mistake about it.
To clarify, there's only been one breakdown here in
Sorry?
Madison and the white car also being stolen from Buckhead. Does that point you to believe that the two might still be somewhere in the general vicinity?
I highly doubt. No, I highly doubt that they are here because of the way the evidence we have as to where the green car was abandoned, where the burglary was, and then where the truck was stolen, and the time intervals between lead us to believe they're not still here in this community.
You think they're out of state?
They've had time to be halfway across the United States, okay? I don't know where
To
they are.
clarify, there's only been one home burglary?
Only one home burglary that we know of here in Morgan County.
Okay, Mr. Commissioner,
Yes.
We've heard one of the escapees was involved in a prison gang, Ghostface gangsters. Anything you can tell us about that gang?
Only that I can confirm that we did have one of the offenders who was tied to the Ghostface gangsters.
Do you know anything about the gang in general?
I do not at this time, something that I do not want to jeopardize any of the investigation, and I do not want to share any details on that gang at this point.
Would that suggest outside potential help if there's gang related, that there's people on the outside who would help the person who's escaped?
There's certainly these people have relatives, these people have friends, these people are associated with this one individual. So there's an infinite number of people that may well be helping them outside.
With the reward as high as it is right now, is there some concern among law enforcement about bounty hunters showing up, armed bounty hunters?
Well,
Any safety
we have no knowledge of that. I don't care who tells us where they are or who captures them.
I'm not sure whether this is a question to you or to the GBI, but you say that if somebody's helping them, they'll be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Would that include possibly the felony murder rule if somebody's helping them?
If you are party to the crime of murder, you are subject in the state of Georgia to being charged with the crime of murder. It would depend upon the circumstances. We don't know what those might be.
How did the recovery of the car help you in the investigation? What did you find inside that car?
Well, the main thing that helped us was the ability to know not to look for it anymore. We did find evidence in the car that confirmed that they were in it, but I won't elaborate as to what.
If by some crazy chance they're listening and they're watching this right now, what do you want them to know?
The same thing that I've said since the first time I've talked to anybody in the media. You need to surrender. You will be apprehended.
Sheriff, you've dedicated a lot of resources to this, and we're in the third day now. How long do you think you can keep this level of resources as you continue to look?
We don't intend for it to stop.
Sheriff, do you fear a possible gun battle should you apprehend these, given the circumstances that what they
You see this black man?
Yes, sir.
It's been on this badge more in the last year than any I can remember. These two people killed these officers. Listen, we've grown to expect this every second of every day, not just in this circumstance, certainly in this circumstance, but we expect to be assassinated at any time.
So you have no idea where they are.
To help you guys, other than if they see something to call you guys, and where do those leads take you guys because if you follow every one of those leads, and there have been more than 100 leads so far that's come to you guys, what do you really do to try to help, and how can the public really help you guys?
The public can help us by, if they see these people, immediately calling 911. Number two, if they have information, to call the number the special agent in charge just gave you to the U.S. Marshal Service. They've got information about it. Those leads, there are all matter of analysts and detectives, agents and deputies that are sorting through these leads. They are being followed up on. Everyone's going to be followed up on. If they're being triaged, if it's something that's absolutely absurd, obviously we're not going to send somebody out. But if it's, no matter how insignificant it may be, some police officer somewhere of some kind is following up on these leads, no matter where it may be in the United States, as we speak and prior to today.
How many sightings have there been, and how far and wide are these calls coming from?
We've communicated with law enforcement as far away as Virginia and Texas. I won't elaborate any further than that.
The FBI could speak a little bit more to how
Sure.
extensive it is nationwide.
What's the question?
How extensive it is nationwide. You've got all these agencies involved.
So, the question relates to resources and effort here. Like Sheriff Sills said, the effort is only growing, and we will be able to sustain it until these individuals are apprehended. All the federal agencies, marshals, the FBI, and the ATF have offices throughout the country, and they're a phone call away. So if a tip comes in and it's in another state, in one phone call, there will be resources headed to that direction or to follow up on that tip. And we are expanding, not shrinking our effort to find these two individuals.
What does it take for them to make the most
Marshals
wanted
has
list?
its fugitive task force, which they spend
Yes.
their time hunting people. Have you called them into assist them?
They are-
What's their specialty that they bring to the table?
So they are extremely skilled at finding people and apprehending people. In this individual, there are these two individuals. In this instance, there are federal warrants out for these individuals that allow us to pour resources into their apprehension. It's the U.S. Marshal Service that holds those warrants. Unlawful flight to avoid apprehension and escape are federal warrants that warrant a federal effort, particularly as it goes nationwide.
Can you tell if this search is still concentrated in Georgia?
The surge, like Sheriff Sills said, is ever expanding. This incident happened essentially 2 days ago. This is the third day. We are not discounting any tip, no matter how far it comes from, and it is expanding into other states just to make sure that we're covering all avenues to apprehend these individuals.
Do you have any sense of direction?
No.
Back to the reward, we heard the reward is dead or alive. Is that true?
So we do not offer rewards for someone to be brought in dead or alive. The reward is for information that leads to the apprehension of these two individuals.
Sheriff, are you concerned about bounty hunters getting in the way or impeding your investigation?
I've already answered that. The answer is yeah. No, I've never experienced, in all my career, I've never experienced that. No knowledge of it.
Sheriff, yesterday the picture that was released of the truck, the pickup truck, it appeared to have been from a tag reader.
Yes.
Is that where you got it from?
That is where we got it.
So do you have an idea where that vehicle was?
Oh, we know exactly where it was then, but that was before now. That photograph does not actually depict the truck as it looks today, because the two toolboxes that are on the inside, the two aluminum that run the length of the bed, was not depicted in there.
Sheriff, did these the two escapees, did they steal any phones?
No, not well. They did initially steal a phone in the carjacking, but they were smart enough to throw it out. We have recovered that phone a very short distance from where the incident occurred.
Any useful information on it?
No, they did not use it. We know for a fact they didn't use it before they discarded
What
it.
does it take to get on the most wanted list?
I think it's pretty evident that they are right there in the top of the most wanted list.
What are this sort of comment about society today, about trying to operate in our society without money, without a firm, without a change of clothes, without all that? How hard is it to just stay underground in our societies today?
Well, it's difficult to do, but they've certainly done it many times in the past.
The truck yesterday, do you think they ditched the car, then ransacked the house and walked the 9 miles or so to where the truck was?
Certainly.
That's
We have evidence. We have evidence, physical evidence that corroborates that.
Were they in any location that could have been captured by a security camera, like a building or something?
Yes.
Oh, they were.
You did capture the video, or did they could have?
No. Yes, we have some video that that we're relatively sure it's them. It's not clear enough to where you can recognize it.
Sheriff, if you have that video, does it show a description of
No.
the latest clothing?
No, this was a nighttime video of 2 people in the area very close to where the truck was stolen. You can't make out.
Any idea what kind of clothing was stolen from the house in that burglary?
No, and that, no, sir, I'm sorry. The house was thoroughly ransacked. There's no way to know.
Does that video give you direction?
Sheriff?
It was a video camera near where the truck was stolen,
What day, what time?
late at night on Tuesday night.
Does that give you a better direction as to where they might have?
No, ma'am, it does not.
If that was taken at night, then they had probably a good 12 hours to have a head start on you. Would that be correct, sir?
Well, no, they've got more than that. That was Tuesday night. We know the truck was stolen again between 11 o'clock and midnight on Tuesday night. So they've got from then until now.
Okay. We understand that there's a nationwide billboard campaign that's going to be.
We'll let the FBI speak on that.
Yeah, there is going to be a significant media effort along with all the other efforts that are going on, soliciting tips from the public. Part of that is a nationwide billboard campaign that will offer the specifics about the reward and offer the number that I gave you to call in any information that someone in the public may have.
Will that be going up today?
That will be going up today.
In every state?
In multiple states, yes.
Along highways, interstates?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to get back to work, and I promise you, I think we've done pretty well on trying to keep you abreast of things that we know and we can tell you, but we need to kind of hit it and get back going again.
Can you just wrap it up by saying what's next and whether you're actively searching any areas right now?
We are not actively searching any particular area, but we are actively looking for this truck and these 2 individuals, and we're looking for them anywhere they might be on the planet Earth.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff.
We'll stick behind any admin questions. Thank you.
Appreciate it.